If I asked a bunch of veteran RPG enthusiasts to list their top 5 RPGs of all time, chances are that Xenogears would be somewhere on the list. It's one of those games that excels in a certain area so much that it leaves everything else a mile behind, even 15 years after release. The word Xenogears has so much meaning for me. Hearing this title immediately fills me with nostalgia and makes me think if only they made them like they used to. It's not a perfect game, if there is such thing, but I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn close. If you get any enjoyment at all out of traditional RPGs, then this is one of the must-play titles. The story is the key factor in what makes Xenogears so great. The game begins with a cinematic of a ship crash landing into the planet, a purple-haired girl, things falling from the sky, and plenty of other things that don't make sense. Then you're put into the shoes of Fei Fong Wong. What a name! He was brought to the village of Lahan, severely injured 3 years ago by a mysterious man. The thing is, Fei can't remember anything about his past. I know what you're thinking, a guy loses his memory and has to learn about himself, been there, done that. Well, Xenogears is probably the only game that uses this formula correctly. Fei's journey is a large part of what makes Xenogears so exceptional. It doesn't take long for things to spice up. The village is immediately attacked by unknown gears, which are basically giant mechs. Fei then goes crazy, jumps into a gear, then uses his unknown pro pilot skills to destroy just about everything in sight. The catch is, he can't remember doing any of it. Naturally, he feels a tad guilty and departs on a quest for answers. This narrative is pretty straightforward to start with. The first 15 hours or so are just designed to introduce the characters and set up the plot, but after that the bombardment begins. By that, I mean that the player is bombarded with mystery. There are countless mysterious characters, scenes and concepts that come up along the way and make little to no sense. Who are they? What the hell is he talking about? What is a...
Insert confusing term here.
Finding the answers to these questions is what makes this overly complex plot so enjoyable to play. By the end of Disc 1, I was literally speechless. Well, except for holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, which was the extent of my vocabulary for a solid 5 hours. Think back to high school. Remember when that stupid concept just started to make sense? Oh, I get it. Yeah, that happens a lot. The first disc ends with an absolute bang, better than any other game I've ever played in my life. It's just, the second disc could use some work. I'll be fair, the second disc is not the fault of the developers. They had strict deadlines and budget issues, forcing them to release the game much earlier than desired, and it shows. Just about the entire plot is told from the point of view of a character. They explain significant portions of the game in past tense, and then occasionally jump to a dungeon for some gameplay. Basically, close to 30 hours of intended gameplay was condensed to about 10 hours, often with long scenes void of any gameplay, and this was disappointing. But yes, the plot is still tied up, and there are still many amazing moments on this second disc, but it is blatantly rushed, and this change of pace is my biggest criticism with Xenogears. One can't tell perhaps video gaming's greatest narrative without an exceptional cast of characters, and they are just that, exceptional. Fei should be living at the bottom of the ocean because he is fucking deep. Most of the supporting cast heroes are just the same. Their complex backstories and the secrets that are slowly revealed make them a cast you will not forget easily. The same can be said about the many antagonists. They each have their own complex agendas that are slowly revealed, and learning about them is just as enjoyable as learning about the main characters. So to conclude this analogy, there must be a rockin' party going on at the ocean floor, cause these partygoers are deep. Like most of the other Xeno games, Xenogears features two battle systems, the first being with your characters and the second when they pilot their gears. The character battles are probably what you would expect from a game of its era. The defining feature here is the death blow system. Your characters have several action points every turn that can be spent on weak, medium or heavy attacks, costing 1, 2 and 3 action points respectively. If they use these attacks in a certain combination, a death blow will be unleashed. To learn death blows, the character has to input that certain button combination a number of times. This system works fine in the context of the game, but I will admit that the fact that you don't know which button combinations will teach which death blows is very frustrating. At one point I was grinding for about 20 minutes trying to learn a certain more powerful death blow, only to realise I wasn't inputting the correct combination. What a waste of time. Xenogears is an epic game, and battling to the death in giant gears really highlights this epicness. The key difference between the two battle systems is that this one has fuel to worry about. Every time your gears attack, they will consume fuel. Fuel is also consumed at a much higher rate if you activate your gears boosters, which significantly speed up your action gauge. This fuel management aspect plays a huge role in how to approach each boss. Remember how I mentioned the severely rushed second disc? Because of this content rush, just about every battle in disc 2 is a gear battle. I would have liked an even spread here, as it becomes pointless to train your characters after a certain point. But at the end of the day, both systems work well together, which is a good thing, as there are some areas in the game where the random encounters are near unbearable. I know that the thought of excessive random encounters will piss some of you off to no end, but this game is so damn good you'll forgive it. As you can see, Xenogears' graphics were nothing special when compared to other hits of the time, namely Final Fantasy, but one thing that is special is the soundtrack. Oh my god, there are so many tracks that just fill my intestines with disgusting insects. Hang on, I think the term I'm looking for is butterflies. Yes, the Xenogears soundtrack gives me butterflies! Alright, now hang on while I put on one of my favorites.
To my heart in the blue of night.
Xenogears! What an incredible game! If the second disc wasn't rushed, I may have given this a 10, something that I've never done before. Xenogears tells a complex, incredible story that surpasses any game I have ever played. Even though it sometimes feels like I'm playing a visual novel, finding the answers to my many questions and learning more about the many deep, interesting characters makes it more than worth it. If you haven't played Xenogears yet, let me put it simply. If Final Fantasy 7, 8 or 9 was something that you enjoyed, then this game must be your next stop. You will not regret it. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe for more RPG content. Also, click here to view Xenogears Know the Facts, where we look at some of the awesome trivia behind this masterpiece. Thanks for watching, see you next time.